all the stocks being discussed here today are purely for educational purposes and not a buy or sell advice. I have hidden the stock name for obvious reasons. The first two stocks that will be discussed are SME stocks. My motive of creating this video is just to share educational content with you on how anchored VWAP and parallel channel, along with some basic math work on the charts. Hope you all will enjoy this video. The comment section for this video will be disabled so that no one comments down the name of the stock, because I know my viewers are smart enough to decode the name of the same. My motive is just to tell you how anchor VWAP, parallel channel, and some basic math work in the market. So hello guys, welcome to yet another video on my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss three most interesting charts which are on my radar recently. So I have been recently off trading since quite a while, and I have been just shortlisting for a few investment bets, and I came across these three charts which were really very helpful in building knowledge about technical analysis and about understanding specific indicators and tools that I use in my trading and investing. So I just thought of sharing these three charts with you. So this is the first stock that we are going to talk about today. So the chart that you see in front of the screen is the chart of an SME stock. Now let's try to understand why this chart looks so interesting to me. So before you understand that, you need to know about the tool that we shall be using to interpret this chart. The tool is called anchored VWAP, which is also known as AVWAP. Now to learn about this tool, you can refer to the link that is given below in description and watch session number 8 and session number 9 to understand the same. There is one YouTube link also available on the topic AVWAP that I had conducted a session quite a while back. So you can also refer to the same. Anyway, so now just talking about the chart, we will quickly try to understand and interpret why this chart is looking very interesting. So you can very clearly see that the stock had made a high of 52.40, and from there the stock came crashing down till the levels of 19.20. So the indicator of anchor VWAP, what anchor VWAP usually does is that anchor VWAP tells us the potential higher low that can possibly make on that particular stock. So now in this particular stock, if we use the indicator of anchor VWAP, we will just plot first anchor VWAP from 52.40 and the second AVWAP from 19.20. Now once I have plotted the anchor VWAP, it is showing me the potential higher low that can form somewhere between this range. Okay, so once the stock progresses and makes a new high, what we observe is that these anchor VWAP bands, they are not really useful as the stock makes a new high. Okay, so what has happened here is that the stock went above the level of 52.40, it made a new high of 59.20, and then it made another new high of 68.45. Above the level of 68.45, I saw a vertical rally on this particular stock. So the first two anchor VWAPs that we had plotted will be of no use now. Okay, so we'll just quickly delete them up. And now the next two anchor VWAPs that we have to plot will be from the levels of 59.20 and 68.45. Okay, so after plotting these two anchor VWAPs, what has happened is that they have given me a potential new higher low for the stock, which can probably form in this particular zone. Okay, and now going forward, as we can very clearly see that the stock continued to make another new highs, right? So what happened is that after the level of 68.45, the stock made a new high of 176, and then the stock made a new high of 210. So right now what we are going to do is that the previous anchor VWAP that we had marked will be of no longer use, and we will be deleting all the previous anchor VWAPs, and the most recent anchor VWAP will be plotted from the level of 176 and 210. Okay, so right now we can very clearly see that the stock came down till the levels of somewhere around 230, and then it took support at that particular anchor VWAP. Now comes the question that from this particular level, how much percentage can the stock potentially rise? Now there comes the concept of basic math, right? You just need to use this tool called price range, and when you click on this particular tool, you will be able to see that after stock made a new low, how much percentage it potentially rallied from those particular levels, right? So from the levels of 19.20, the stock gave me a potential rise of 256%. Okay, post that the stock came down and it made a swing low of somewhere around 40.65. We'll just consider the lower one just for our comfortable reference. So from 40.65, the stock made a high of around 176, which is close to 332% rise, right? And then the stock came down till the levels of 95. It made a high of 210, which is 121% rise, right? Then once again, the stock came down till levels of 113 and it made a high of 330%, which is somewhere close to 486 levels. So now it is pretty evident that the stock has came down till the levels of 232. So from here, at least a rise of 121% can be projected from current levels. So if I just plot it to be somewhere around 121%, that would be somewhere around the levels of 515. So being the stock somewhere around 230 and given a rise of 121% with a favorable risk of, let's say, around 10 to 15% downside, it looks like a reasonable bet at current levels. So this is just one chart which I wanted to share with you, which I felt that has a lot of learning experience about Anchor VWAP on the same. Okay, so this is the second stock that we are going to talk about today. So the chart that you see in front of the screen is another SME stock. Now let us try to understand why this chart is also looking quite interesting to me. So before you understand that, you need to know about the tool which is being used here, which is Anchor VWAP, which I already mentioned about, that you can watch the sessions of the link given down below in the description. And now we'll be understanding that why this chart is looking very, very interesting to me. So another similar concept, we will be using the Anchor VWAP tool. And this is the daily chart of the particular stock, by the way. So after using the indicator of Anchor VWAP, we'll just quickly mark the highs that particularly formed. It formed 106.80 and then it formed 112. So we'll be plotting Anchor VWAP from these two levels, 1 and 1, 2. Okay, so after we plotted the Anchor VWAP from these two levels, we observed that the stock touched the Anchor VWAP and it took the support there. And right here also the stock touched the Anchor VWAP and it took the support right here. Right. So this Anchor VWAP served as a beautiful support, as we can very, very clearly see. But then the stock continued to make a new high. So the old reference highs for the stock were no longer valid. Now the highs that the stock made were 366 and then the stock made a high of 402. So these two levels are going to be very, very important. I will plot one from 366 and one from 402. Now I can very, very clearly see that the stock has come down to the Anchor VWAP zone. And right now, a stop loss with somewhere around close to 10 to 15% downside. We can see how much potential rise. Now the potential rise is another very, very interesting question that comes up. So from the lows of 77, the stock rallied around 419% till the levels of 402. And then from this level of 221.15, the stock rallied up close to somewhere about, how much is that? 287%. So from the current levels, there is a possibility that the stock can rally about at least 200 to 250%. Right. So considering, let's say 427, we are taking to the low. Let's say if we are projecting a rise of 250%, then the target is coming somewhere around 1500 levels, right? Which is potentially 3 or 4 times from the current levels. Now, considering that the risk is just 10 to 15% on the downside, this is looking another reasonable bet. But yet again, I'm not disclosing the stock name just because these are SME stocks and I don't want to create any artificial volumes on the same. So this is the third stock that we are going to talk about today. This is an NSE chart of the same. Okay, so why I'll be going to refer BSC chart of this particular stock, let me just very, very quickly tell you that. All right. So if you see that this NSE chart has close to 19 bars on its chart, and once you see BSC chart of the same, you'll be able to see that the stock has close to 20 bars. Now, what is the reason that BSC has more bars than NSE is that there was a Muhur trading session in between all the trading sessions, right? And on the Muhur trading day, the stock was traded on BSE while there were no shares traded on NSE. And that's why the data on BSE is more than the data on NSE, right? So we'll be referring to the BSE charts of this particular stock. It's a recently listed company and we are going to learn about the indicator of parallel channel and some basic math on the same. Okay, so we connected to 201.80 with 177.55 and we extended it down till 152.25. So the basic math that applied here is that from the levels of 152.25, the stock made a high of 178.95 and then the stock continued to came down. And then now what we observed is that some people might ask me that why didn't you buy at this channel support, right? Why are you telling us that the stock has potentially taken a support at 125, 126 and not at this particular level? So there comes a basic math behind the particular chart and Very basic math it is. So what we have to see is that we just need to plot the price scale. And if you see this particular range from 152 to 179, it is close to 26.70, right? So the stock rallied around 27 points, and once it gave me a breakdown below 152.25, it is expected to fall at least 25-26 points, because this was a particular range. So I will prefer to buy the stock at the parallel channel support if the stock has fallen close to 26.70 points. So I will just quickly mark 26.70, which is 125.55, right? And you can see the stock came down till the level of 125.40, which is somewhere around the levels of 125.55. So that does make sense, right? So this is how we use parallel channel and some basic math along with some logical reasoning to predict where a stock can potentially bottom out. And buying there especially makes a lot of sense because the risk is very minimal around those levels. So now here what we can potentially do is we can just quickly see the chart of Nifty as well once. So this is the chart of Nifty, and you might recall that I had posted a parallel channel on the same which most people had argued upon. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly plot the parallel channel for you in front of your eyes once again, just to make you understand how to plot the parallel channel. So we'll just quickly click on parallel channel. We will select the high that the instrument made. So here it was 12430, which was 12,430. So from here, the stock made a high of 18,604, and then the security had a low of 7,511. So we just plotted this parallel channel very quickly, and you can see I had posted this chart somewhere back around these levels of 15,200, 15,250. You can find the tweet link in the description below, and you will understand why I had posted this chart the way I had. So the index made low of somewhere around 15,200 and now currently trading around, I guess, somewhere around 18,300. So which is very great. And yet again, another chart which you can potentially see to understand parallel channels better is the chart of Dow Jones. So yet again, if you see the chart of Dow Jones here, the index had a high of around 29,568, and then it made a high of somewhere around 35,091. So this was a high. Why we usually consider this as a high? Because we don't really want any wicks beyond our parallel channel top end. Okay, so we'll just connect this with the lows that the index had made somewhere around 18,213, right? So what we can very clearly see here is that the index gave us a breakdown here. It was low key looking like a breakdown, but it could have potentially turned into a false breakdown until and unless this low was held. So we'll mark this low as 28,700, and in case index had broken below 28,700, 28,500, then we would have seen potential more selling, but it did not. And from there, the index is almost up about close to 15 odd percent and currently trading at 33,900. So this is yet another example of parallel channel. So with that, we have come to the end of today's video. I hope you found today's video informative and knowledgeable. Like and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming exciting content. If you have decoded the stock's name, congratulations, but don't buy them until you have consulted your personal financial manager and you have assessed your risk well. So have a good day, traders.